Okay, picture this. You're being dragged, right? Chains, filth, the whole deal. You're a prisoner, sure, but your mind, it's razor sharp.
Mm.
You're watching the guard, his sword, and then bam, the gold wyvern. Royal seal.
Right. Even totally powerless, that symbol clicks.
Exactly. It
Mhm.
tells you so much right from the start. Let's really dig into this opening scene.
Well, what's amazing is how we get Celaena Sardothien's core character immediately. No info dumps.
Yeah.
Just her, stripped down, but that defiance, that sharp mind, it's right there.
She sees the insignia.
Yeah, and it's not just scenery. It shows she gets the power structure.
Yeah.
Even while hating it, it's like an early clue for us about how authority shows itself.
Right. And this isn't some comfy jail cell. She's in the mines of Vendovir, miles from Rifthold, the capital.
Brutal conditions.
Think dirt, torn clothes,
Yeah.
just exhaustion. And it makes her inner strength stand out even more.
Definitely.
Plus, the people around her, not just petty thieves. They're whisperers, right? People
Mhm.
accused of vanished magic. Rebels from Elway.
Mm-hmm. Iolway, resisting a Darlin.
It paints this picture of a kingdom just
Yeah.
simmering, conflict, forbidden stuff right under the surface.
And putting her in Endovir first, that's smart writing. It's designed to crush you.
Yeah.
So having the magic users, the rebels there, it's not just background noise. It immediately layers in the history, the
Yeah.
politics.
Right. It's suppression, physical, but also knowledge, opposition, key stuff for understanding a Darlin's control.
Exactly.
Then, out of nowhere, the Crown Prince shows up.
Endovir, yeah, that's a moment.
Can you imagine the shift? 1 minute grinding labor, the next.
Yeah.
Royalty. As first question. This is she.
Almost attached, isn't it? Like he's inspecting something.
Yeah. And Celaena just stands there, doesn't bow.
Yep.
And boom, a guard roughs her up immediately. That clash of wills right there. Her
Yeah.
refusing to bend, even when she's chained, it sets the tone.
It really does. Integrity as pure defiance.
And him being there at all is strange. That question, this is she. Maybe curiosity, like you said, or disbelief.
Could be. But her not bowing, that's the core. It's not just being rude, it's her asserting herself.
And the guard's reaction shows just how rigid everything is.
Yeah.
Bow or else. A system she just instinctively fights against.
Totally.
And then, the twist. The prince makes her an offer.
The deal.
A competition. Become the king's champion. Win. And after 6 years as, what did he call it? The king's crooked dagger?
Yes, something like that.
Then freedom. Lose.
Yeah.
Back to end of year forever.
Huge stakes.
He even comments on her like her way of speaking. Doesn't sound like rabble. He sees something more.
Right. He recognizes intelligence, maybe background. It makes you wonder what he actually knows about her. Or suspects.
Yeah, why offer her this insane deal?
It's the engine, isn't it? That offer gives her a sliver of hope, a way out of the inescapable.
But naturally, it's not that simple. There's a catch.
Always a catch.
The king isn't just handing her the job. He's holding this big competition.
Yeah.
23 council members sponsor a champion each.
Politics.
So she doesn't just have to win fights. She has to impress these powerful people. Officially become a Darlin's assassin, which sounds
Yeah.
dubious.
It adds that whole political layer. It's not just about strength. It's court maneuvering, too. These other champions, they're sponsors, rivals, obstacles.
And the final layer of complication, she can't even compete as Celaena Sardothien,
Too famous. Or infamous.
apparently. Her reputation is huge, but the public thinks she's older. Weird detail. So to avoid, freaking out the kingdom's enemies, her identity's a secret.
So she needs an alias.
Yep. Lilingardana, daughter of a dead mother, rich merchant father, all fabricated.
Wow. So constant deception from the start. The risk of being found out.
Exactly. This whole Lillian thing is a mask, hiding the assassin everyone fears. It lets her move around the court, but imagine the internal conflict.
Yeah, living a double life. Okay, so Lillian gets to Rifthold. Big change.
Overwhelming, I bet. From a mine floor to, like, a real bed, silk sheets, a pillow.
And actual food.
Yeah. After basically starving, it hits her hard physically, right?
Mhm.
She gets sick from eating proper food.
Shows how brutal Endovir was. The shock of just comfort.
But even then, you see that determination. She will get her strength back. The physical recovery is tied right into her fight for freedom.
You can feel that resolve. It's not just about surviving anymore. It's about reclaiming herself.
And her first interactions with Captain Chill Westfall. Tense.
Oh, yeah. Banter, but with an edge.
Definitely. She seems to, enjoy the nice clothes, though. Already planning to buy more when she's free.
Like reclaiming some normalcy, maybe, after being stripped of everything?
Could be. But then she sees those other prisoners being brought back from Endovir.
That reality check.
Yeah. A brutal reminder of where she could end up again. It clearly hits her hard. Guilt, maybe? Or just the precariousness of it all.
For sure. That contrast is stark, her temporary conditional status versus their fate.
Then she runs into the Crown Prince again, Dorian, and his dogs.
Right, the dogs.
And he makes that comment, how unusual for them to notice you.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, why would they notice her specifically?
Exactly. It's subtle, but it suggests there's something different about her.
Right.
Maybe something even she doesn't know, an inherent quality.
Could be. Animals sensing something, an unusual aura, maybe latent power, a bit of foreshadowing, perhaps.
Maybe. Later, she's near the city wall, and the memories hit her. Her capture.
The trauma resurfacing.
The sounds of the mind's whips, screams. It really grounds her motivation, doesn't it? The horror she escaped, the stakes if she fails.
Absolutely. Those flashbacks make it clear she's not just fighting for freedom, she's fighting away from that nightmare.
And she keeps sparring verbally with Keel.
Trying to get under his skin.
Totally. Asking about his relationship with Dorian, his title, Lord Cale Westfall. How the court ladies must fawn over you.
It's just poking him.
Trying to figure him out. And he's all clip denials, professional distance.
It's like a dance. Testing boundaries, gauging loyalty, setting up this really complicated dynamic between them.
Then she sees the glass castle properly for the first time.
And feels small, overwhelmed.
Yeah, it emphasizes how long she's been isolated, right? This massive symbol of the life she was torn from. Makes her seem vulnerable in this new world.
It's a physical representation of the power and privilege she's been locked away from. Shows the gap she needs to cross.
She mentioned something to Cale later about her past. Just hints, like, they hated me. Suggesting betrayal led to her capture.
Intriguing. Leaves you wanting to know more.
And she talks about Endovir, again, the cruelty of the guards, but also, surprisingly, kindness from ILB prisoners.
Right. It shows resilience, but also unexpected connections, even in that hell. Layers to her past, and connects back to the ILB rebels.
And Cale, he's watching her. He's not fooled.
Sees the danger. Assassin with the blessing of a pretty face and sharp wits.
Yeah, he gets that she's just fighting for freedom, nothing more. There's like a grudging respect there, maybe.
Seems like it. He recognizes her skill, her drive. He's pragmatic about it.
Then Dorian gives her a tour of the castle, which she uses to scout escape routes naturally.
Of course. Always the assassin.
But she's weirdly hesitant about going into the glass part of the castle.
Interesting. Why? Maybe uncomfortable with being too exposed.
Maybe. And they see that gargoyle, the one with the weird symbol. She's intrigued, but Dorian just blows it off. Decorative sundial.
Yeah, that feels like a Chekhov's gargoyle. A detail that's going to matter later. His dismissal just makes it seem more important.
Definitely. The tour goes to the kitchens, all chaos and noise, very vivid.
Makes the place feel real.
Then into this super quiet hallway. Huge oak doors. And the carvings on them, four-legged dragons, not the usual royal wyverns.
Different symbols. Suggests history, maybe mythology, different eras or families, adds depth.
But then, the library.
The library.
Oh my God, it's immense. Supposedly over 1 million books. And there are rumors of a second hidden library underneath.
Wow.
Celaena's reaction is perfect. I'd die before you even got through half of that. It just shows how much she loves books, knowledge.
A sanctuary for her. You can feel her excitement.
We even find out she was forbidden from some great library in her past. So this is huge for her.
Adds another layer, right. Control, maybe trying to limit her knowledge before.
Could be.
Yeah.
And the conversation there gets a bit dark. They mention the king destroying books after outlawing magic.
Systematic erasure, controlling history, ideas.
Cale sounds sad about it. Celaena's clearly worried about lost knowledge.
Yeah.
Really shows the oppressive side of the regime.
Absolutely. And raises the stakes for her own search for answers in a world that burns books.
Back at her rooms, even with the luxury, she's still on edge. Assassin instincts.
Hypervigilant. Jumps at shadows.
Shows how deep that conditioning goes. Hard to switch off after Endovir.
The trauma lingers, even with silk sheets.
So, moving into the court stuff, she's on her balcony, watching court life, sees some woman trying to get Dorian's attention.
The social maneuvering begins.
Yeah, it's a little snapshot of the ambition, the romantic games. Very different from the mind's.
A world of appearances, hidden agendas.
Then the reality hits.
Yeah.
She has to meet the king. And she gets this awful headache, real anxiety. Keel's warning doesn't help. He'll have you hanged if you don't please him.
Yikes. High stakes.
And we get that flashback to her trial, her fear, but still defiant, facing him. He sounds terrifying. That fear is a big motivator.
Her reaction tells you everything about his reputation, establishes him as this ruthless force she's now tangled up with.
Her first proper meeting with Dorian and Keel after settling in is awkward.
In a funny way.
Yeah. Dorian seems amused. She has no clue about court manners. Keel's just trying to keep things proper.
Dorian seems more relaxed about it all. Keel's the stickler for rules.
And Dorian jokes about her being Keel's sister. A bit of lightness, but it kind of hints at the weird three-way dynamic forming.
Yeah, that unconventional bond starting to show.
Then they get down to business. The alias.
Yeah.
Willie and Gordana. Dorian stresses how vital the secret is. No one can know.
Makes the deception concrete. Daughter of a dead merchant.
Solidifies that fake identity. The danger if she slips up feels very real. Lillian is her shield.
And immediately, we meet a rival. Lady Celaena Sardothien.
Ugh, Celaena. Instant cattiness about Celaena's dress, dripping with jealousy.
Sees Lillian as competition, especially for Dorian.
Looks like it. Sets her up as an antagonist right away. Social hierarchy stuff.
Okay, so the competition finally starts. Big day. Castle's buzzing.
Celaena gets taken to the barracks, then this huge sparring room. All 23 other champions, their trainers, guards, watching. The scale of it.
23 others, wow. High stakes, lots of bodies, officially sanctioned brutality.
She checks out the weapons, knows them all, but yeah, prefers daggers. Classic.
Mm-hmm.
And she sizes up the competition. Soldiers, thieves, recognizes one. Noxoan mercenaries, murderers, a dangerous crowd.
Her assassin's eye, picking out threats. Recognizing Nox adds a personal twist. Shared background, maybe.
Could be. Initially, though, the others just dismiss her. Jewel thief from Bellhaven.
Oh, if only they knew.
Right. She must be annoyed, but it's probably an advantage being underestimated.
Definitely. Lets her watch and plan without being the focus. Yet.
We see that vulnerability again, though. During outdoor training, she suddenly gets sick. Vomits.
Still recovering. The physical toll of Endovir.
Yeah, a stark reminder she's not invincible. And Kills sees it.
He's watching closely. Sees the competitor, but also the person still healing from trauma. Adds complexity.
The training sessions reveal biases, too. Brullo, the trainer, clearly favors Kane.
Oh, the arrogant one.
Yep. Celaena keeps a low profile, watches Kane strut around, notes how little attention she's getting despite her skills.
Makes her think about her own past, maybe, at the keep. How others felt about her dominance.
Yeah, that's a fascinating thought. Puts her own history in a new light.
Then Noxoan approaches her. Unexpected.
Right. Gives his name, slags off Kane's arrogance, points out another guy, Varen, looking sick and alone.
First hints of an alliance. We're just finding common ground against the bullies.
Maybe. A crack in the solid wall of rivalry.
And then the first death.
Oof, yeah. Bill Chastain. The Eye Eater. Grim nickname.
Found dead. Suddenly it's not just a competition.
News spreads like wildfire. Unease, fear. Keeler describes how gruesome it was based on what Viren saw. Shatters any illusion of safety.
Clearly something darker is going on. Beyond the other champions.
Varen, the guy Nox pointed out, keeps hassling Celaena. Sexist comments.
Charming.
But Nox subtly defends her. And then Celaena just shuts everyone up with some insane dagger throwing.
Nice. A flash of the real Celaena. A silent warning. Don't mess with me.
Then Kale visits her. Says he wants to talk about a book she's reading.
But she suspects it's more.
Yeah, like maybe about Bill's murder or some council meeting. She senses he's worried, hiding something.
He's definitely keeping tabs.
Yeah.
Captain of the Guard murder mystery. He's involved.
Next big moment. The archery test. Tension's high after Bill's death.
And Celaena
Nails it. Dead center. A target miles away that no one else could hit.
Whoa.
Everyone's stunned. Kale's scowling, probably knew she was holding back. Dorian, just a little smile.
That shatters the Lillian disguise pretty effectively. Can't fake that kind of skill. Dorian's smile is interesting. Picking up on her secrets.
Maybe. But the physical stuff still gets her. More vomiting after the test. Still recovering. Still vulnerable beneath the skill.
It grounds her character, doesn't it? She's amazing, but still human. Still scarred by Endovir.
Then she tells Cal this horrific story from the mines.
Oh, yeah.
A young woman helped her, was kind to her, and was later attacked, murdered. And Celaena, she took revenge on the men responsible. Violently.
Wow. Chilling. Shows her moral code warped by that place. Fierce loyalty, but also her capacity for brutality when pushed.
Exactly. Meanwhile, a quick peek at court politics. Dorian talking to his mother.
Reveals Caltain's ambition, her connections, and Dorian's totally uninterested in some potential bride.
Just reminds us there are other games being played besides the deadly champion one.
Right. Then Dorian tells Celaena another champion is probably dead, Sven.
The body count is rising.
And then Princess Nehemia of Elwë shows up, wants to spar.
Yeah, unexpected. Elwë, the rebels,
Yeah.
Nehemia. Feels like different plot threads are starting to connect.
Definitely feels like things are converging.
Yeah.
The stakes are getting higher.
Celaena kind of engineers this sparring match between Dorian and Nehemia.
Which Charles does not like.
No, one bit. He shuts it down fast. Sends Celaena to her room. Total authority move.
He's suspicious, right? Of Nehemia, maybe of Celaena influencing Dorian. Protective of the prince.
Seems like it. While that's happening, Celaena's having this weird internal moment, watching Lillian interact with Dorian, almost jealous of her own fake self.
Ah, that's complicated. Shows the strain of the alias.
And Dorian and Chaol, they're off investigating the latest dead champion. The mystery deepens.
Right. So, alone again, Celaena's thinking. About Chaol, her vulnerability, the murders.
Assassin mode kicks in. She tweaks her door hinges, makes a shiv. Even in the castle, she's ready for a fight.
Always prepared. Survival instinct is deep.
Then she finds the music room, plays the pianoforte. A moment of peace.
Until Dorian shows up.
Yeah, drawn by the music, creates this sudden, unexpected intimacy. A softer moment.
Music connecting them, maybe? Beyond the usual tension?
Their chat gets surprisingly real. Dorian asks why Chaol dislikes her.
And she says,
She'd rather be hated than invisible. Hints at loneliness, but quickly brushes it off. A rare crack in the armor.
wow. That says a lot. Needing recognition, even negative. Hiding the isolation.
Dorian keeps pushing, wanting to know her past, why she's an assassin. He's clearly intrigued, sensing there's more.
His interest is definitely getting personal now. He wants to understand her.
Then the mood shifts again. Playful banter, definite sparks flying.
The chemistry.
Yeah. Dorian doesn't want to leave, teases her about a mystery lover, meaning Sam, obviously.
Ooh, touching a nerve. Jealousy, maybe?
Seems like it, but her reaction is cold. She just says Sam's name, kills the mood, a reminder of that huge loss she carries.
Poignant. That past grief, still casting a shadow.
And the danger keeps ramping up. Another champion found dead. Ned Clement, the Scythe.
Gruesome. And the sponsors still don't seem to care.
Nope. Like, these lives are just disposable. Pawns in some game. Chilling indifference.
Suggests something bigger, darker is going on behind the scenes.
During a climbing test outside, on the castle walls, she's watching Kane, watching Knox.
High-risk test.
And then Knox's rope snaps. He falls.
Oh, no.
And Celaena, without thinking, risks everything to save him. Grabs him, stops his fall. Pure instinct. Heroic.
Wow. That really shows her core character, doesn't it? Assassin rep aside, there's compassion there. Selfless.
Totally. But while she's saving Knox...
Let me guess. Kane takes advantage.
Yep. Scrambles up, grabs the flag, wins the test. Celaena is furious.
Ugh. So frustrating. No good deed goes unpunished in this competition. Ruthless opportunism wins.
And Kel drops a bombshell in conversation. Mentions Arobin Hamel, the king of the assassins.
He knows her real past.
Yeah, and she talks about it, bitterly. The brutal training, the debt she owed Arobin, peeling back those layers.
So her relationship with her mentor was complicated and exploitative, it sounds like.
She even compares it to courtesans paying off debts. Stark comparison.
Yeah.
Shows how trapped she felt.
Really highlights the lack of control she had over her own life for so long.
But then Teal actually says he's disgusted by how Arobin treated her.
Whoa. A moment of real empathy. Shared emotion.
Seems like it. And they sort of make up after their earlier argument about Nehemia. A bit playful even. Camaraderie building. Maybe the ice is finally thawing a bit.
That's significant. A shift in their dynamic. Mutual respect growing.
Could be. Then, another scene. Dorian finds Celaena wearing this weird, old-fashioned blue-green dress.
Odd detail. Why?
Don't know yet. But Nehemia and Chaol are there too. Intriguing little gathering.
Okay.
And then Nehemia speaks Islwe to Dorian. He tries to answer, but Celaena replies fluently.
What? She speaks Islwe. Dorian must be stunned.
Totally. Reveals this hidden connection to Nehemia's people, a shared history they kept quiet.
Major reveal. Recontextualizes their whole friendship. What else are they hiding?
The conversation then touches on politics. Tensions with Islwe, Duke Barrington pushing a hard line against the rebels. Dorian disagrees with him.
More insight into the kingdom's conflicts. Dorian advocating for diplomacy against Barrington's aggression. Adds depth.
Celaena thinks about her friendship with Nehemia. The walks, the dinners, Nehemia's criticisms of the court. It seems genuine, supportive. A lifeline for Celaena.
Yeah, Nehemi provides a different perspective, an ally in a hostile place.
Then Celaena casually mentions Dorian's dead younger brother's name. Surprises him.
Shows she pays attention. A subtle connection, almost familial. Maybe more interest than she lets on.
Maybe. There's more playful banter later about a missed feast. Flirty vibes still there. Comfortable dynamic.
Those lighter moments are important. A break from the constant danger.
And then, a huge discovery. Back in her room. A weird breeze, tapestry moves.
Secret passage.
Yep, hidden behind the wardrobe, dusty stone steps going down.
What?
Assassin instincts flare up immediately. She grabs supplies, gets ready to explore. This feels big.
Definitely. The castle's secret's starting to unravel. That breeze suggests something unnatural.
Could be. But then, setback, she's barred from attending a big feast. It's not clear. But she has to watch the other champions. Except Cain, interestingly, and Dorian from afar. Feels angry, excluded, but also longing, watching Dorian. Reminds her she's still an outsider.
Ouch! Reinforces her conditional status. That mix of anger and longing is powerful.
Later, Dorian sees her asleep, still in that weird dress. Knows how peaceful she looks. Stark contrast to the killer she is.
A quiet, intimate moment, seeing past the facade again.
And then Cale finds her asleep too.
Ah.
And he puts an amethyst ring on her finger.
What? Really? Cale did that?
Yeah. Watches her for a moment, looking conflicted, then leaves. What does that mean?
Wow, that's huge. A secret gesture shows deep, confusing feelings on his part. Way more than just duty.
Things get weirder. She feels a phantom breeze in her room again. Uneasy. Clutches her amulet. Wonders if it even works.
Supernatural stuff ramping up.
Then she has these intense dreams or visions, maybe. The amulet, a voice telling her to be the champion, find the evil in the castle.
Okay, so the amulet is definitely involved. And there's a definite evil she needs to find. Supernatural forces are confirmed.
Morning after the feast, Keel bursts in. Furious. Where were you last night? Suspects her immediately.
Still no trust there. He thinks she's involved in something bad.
But she deflects him brilliantly. She shows him the ring he left her, shuts him down. Their dynamic is just fraught.
Clever move. Uses his own conflicted feelings against him.
Then another body. She's taken the library. Xavier Forel is dead. Gruesome.
And the word marks, yep.
Present again. Ritualistic killing, she notes. It makes it clear she didn't do it. The marks are the key, aren't they?
Absolutely. Recurring symbols, ritual. Definitely points to something specific, not random violence.
She sees Grave, another champion, at the scene. And she makes this cold comment like, zero remorse for Xavier.
Yeah.
Chilling detachment.
Shows that ruthless side again, pragmatic survival or just hardened by everything.
Meanwhile, the tension between Dorian and Cale explodes. They have this really aggressive sparring session.
Fueled by what?
Joel's suspicion about Dorian and Celaena, especially with the timing of the latest murder. Friendship under strain, loyalties tested.
Yeah, the pressure's getting to everyone. Cracks are showing.
After that blow-up, Celaena and Nehemia take a walk. Talk about the harsh winters in Endovia.
Shared suffering. A deeper bond there.
Yeah.
Beyond court politics.
Right. Celaena keeps digging into the weird marks in the library. Finds these wild theories.
Like what?
The weird being this fundamental force governing multiple worlds. An ancient civilization before the Fae. Mind-blowing stuff.
Whoa. Deep lore. Cosmic history, potentially relevant to what's happening now.
Paul overhears her. Thinks it's nuts. Understandably skeptical.
Yeah, that's pretty far out compared to standard Adarlan history, I imagine.
But Celaena starts really questioning why these marks, linked to outlawed magic, are still around, even appearing at murder scenes. It doesn't add up.
Good question. If magic is forbidden, why aren't these symbols erased? Suggests someone wants them there. Or is using them deliberately. Sinister.
We get another weird Cultane moment, too. At some party, she gets a headache, and it only stops when she lies about Dorian enjoying himself.
Okay, that's definitely not normal. Manipulation, magical influence, who's controlling her?
Raises questions. Then during archery practice, Cale warns Celaena. Says Parrington and Cain know how good she really is. Tells her to be careful.
Her cover's blown with them? That's bad. Increases the danger.
And right then, guards rush up, pull Cale away urgently, like things are escalating fast.
Something major must be happening. He's needed elsewhere.
They investigate Varen's murder next. Another grim scene. Burnt torches, weird marks.
Ugh. What does Celaena deduce this time?
It's horrible. Varen's tendons were snapped. He was alive, helpless, while a killer, or the creature, was there. Fingernail scratches show he fought desperately.
God, that's brutal. Paints a terrifying picture of the killer's methods. Prolonged torture.
Meanwhile, Dorian keeps trying to get Celaena to open up about her past. Wants to know the person, not just the assassin legend.
His personal investment is undeniable now. He really cares.
During a poisons test, Celaena's super cautious. Knows the danger could come from competitors too, not just the monster. Constant vigilance.
Smart. Can't trust anyone in that environment. Lethal on multiple levels.
She keeps teaching Nehemia the common tongue, though. That bond seems solid, a bit of normalcy.
A quiet act of friendship amidst the chaos. Important.
Then she sees this odd pup in the kennels. Sickly, silvery gold coat. Avoids everyone, humans and dogs.
Huh. Another strange detail. That coloring sounds familiar. Like the gift Dorian gives her later. Seems significant. File that away.
She also notices her guards are keeping their distance more. Thinks maybe Chael ordered it.
Why would he do that? Protecting her or isolating her? Or protecting them from her?
Unclear. Makes her think about escape again. Heading north, even in winter. That desire for real freedom never fades.
Always planning, always looking for an out. Resourceful.
Celaena watches Lillian and Dorian getting closer. Jealousy, headaches. She's convinced Parrington can get rid of Lillian for her. Sees her as the only obstacle to getting Dorian. Getting desperate.
She's unstable, and relying on Parrington is dangerous. Playing with fire.
Then Nehemia bursts into Celaena's room.
Yeah.
Devastated. Crying.
What happened?
News of a massacre. ILW rebels slaughtered back home. Brings the politics crashing down personally for Nehemia. Explains her recent withdrawal.
Oh, that's terrible. Makes her connection to the conflict brutally real. Understandable distress.
Philippa brings Celaena tea for cramps and casually mentions the murdered rebels.
Genuine sympathy. Or testing Celaena's reaction, gauging her loyalty maybe? Subtle.
Hard to tell. Dorian visits Celaena while she's sick, tries to cheer her up with cards, banter, shows his caring side.
Sweet gesture, deepening their connection on a personal level.
They share tea, books. He finds her romance novel hilarious, slightly shocking. More light moments building that bond. Feels real.
Those small human interactions make their relationship believable amidst the drama.
Chael sees them together. That flicker of worry or protectiveness still there in his reaction. The triangle continues.
Yeah, his presence always adds that layer of tension, unspoken feelings.
Dorian reflects on Celaena surviving Endovir, contrasting it with his own easy life. Chael watches them, torn between trusting her and worrying. Big differences in their paths.
Dorian's empathy growing. Chael's conflict highlights the precarious situation.
Celaena notes Nehemia spending even more time alone after the rebel news. Growing distance, or just grief and planning.
Could be either. Preoccupied with the tragedy, or maybe strategizing response. Unclear.
Dorian tells Celaena the legend of Queen Elena, first queen of Darlin, and a magic amulet, the Eye of Elena, that protected her from the Dark Lord Erewhon.
Ah, more lore. Magic amulet protection from a Dark Lord feels very relevant. Foreshadowing.
Has to be. But Celaena's suspicions about Nehemia grow. The massacre, the rebel rumors. Why would Nehemia target her? Paranoia creeping in.
Understandable in that environment. Distrust is spreading. Makes sense she'd question everyone.
Days pass. No Nehemia. Celaena keeps researching word marks. Final test is looming. Killer's still out there. Tension ratchets up.
Building to a climax. Research, the competition, the killer. All coming to a head.
Eulimus morning. Philippa finds Celaena's room a mess. Red teeth from candy. Funny moment.
Ah, a bit of levity.
But then Philippa calls her Celaena. A moment of warmth. Acceptance. Nice touch.
Significant gesture. Breaking down barriers.
Dorian gives her a Eulimus gift, the pup. The silvery gold one.
Knew it! The one from the kennels.
She sets rules for it immediately. Practical. Notices the weird marks under her bed are gone. Washed away.
Whoa, someone cleaned them up. Someone knows. That's huge. And unsettling. Who? Why?
Big questions. Then she overhears Chael, wondering why she isn't complaining about not going to the Eulimus ball.
Ouch. Feels like he doesn't care.
Yeah, it stings her. So, screw it, she decides to go anyway. Secret plan, gets a gown, mask, with Philippa's help.
Bold move. Crash the party. Love it. Asserting herself.
At the Eulimus temple service, she hangs back, red teeth. Listens to the high priestess talk about Erlea's creation, banishing chaos from the weird gates. More ancient lore.
Weird gates again. Definitely important. Connecting the myths to the current magic.
Philippa helps her get ready for the ball. Amazed by the gown, Celaena reveals her plan. Pretend Dorian invited her. Philippa will cover for her lateness. Audacious.
Risky. High-stakes social maneuvering, banking on Dorian not calling her out.
And her entrance. Wow. Masked, stunning, star-like gown. Everyone stares. Dorian's floored. Even the Queen and Nehemia notice. Makes a huge splash.
Dramatic entrance. Commands attention, disrupts everything.
Dorian's just captivated. Doesn't approach right away like he's stunned.
Overwhelmed by her boldness, or just the sight of her.
Then Cale grabs her, furious, drags her into an alcove.
You were invited.
Busted. He's worried about the consequences.
Nehemia watches them arguing from across the room. Unreadable expression. Adds to the intrigue.
What is Nehemia thinking? Always watching.
Celaena spots Nox across the room. He gives her a subtle salute.
Ah, the ally. Still connected, even in the chaos. A small reassurance.
Hours go by. Nehemia stays with the queen. No attack, no big move like Celaena suspected. Makes her rethink things again.
So Nehemia wasn't planning anything nefarious at the ball. Challenges Celaena's assumptions.
Then Nehemia talks to Celaena near the end. He's really broken, accented common tongue. Weird since she speaks it fluently.
Deliberate. A warning. Trying to communicate something subtly. Feels like it. Claims she feels sick. Leaves abruptly. More mystery.
Very suspicious. What was that about?
Dorian finds Celaena later. Relieved she's okay. Playfully jealous about other guys. Then admits he really wants to kiss her. Acknowledges the magic of the night feeling. Bittersweet.
His feelings are clear now, but he knows it's complicated.
And then they kiss. Passionate. On the balcony. A real connection.
Finally, a moment where the attraction wins out.
But Celaena breaks it off. Says she should go to bed. Alone.
Self-preservation, recognizing the danger, or prioritizing her goal. Mature decision, maybe?
Maybe. Caldane sees them together, though. Misinterprets it, fuels her obsession. Parrington hints to her that Lillian isn't who she seems, manipulating her further.
Caldane playing right into Parrington's hands, setting up more conflict. He knows Lillian is Celaena, or just using Caldane's jealousy.
Unclear. But despite the kiss, Celaena goes right back to researching word marks, determined to figure out their power, the connection to the murders. Focused.
Her priority remains uncovering the truth. Romance is secondary to survival and answers.
She becomes convinced. A creature's being hidden, summoned through those passages. And her suspicion of Nehemia hardens.
Putting the pieces together, the passages, the creature, Nehemia's potential involvement, a coherent theory forming.
Ignores the danger, pushes the wardrobe aside again. That cold breeze smells different now, not roses. Connects the murders to the test schedule. Arms herself with makeshift weapons, goes down. Reckless, but brave.
Driven by the need for answers, the changing scent is ominous. Her deduction about the timing makes sense, going into the dark.
Descends the stairs. Hears chanting below. Male voice. Guttural, unfamiliar language. Ritualistic. Tension is high.
Confirms the ritual element. Unfamiliar language suggests ancient or forbidden magic, getting closer to the source.
Reaches a room. Greenish light. Sees a man chanting before. A monster. Spider-like. A Ritterak.
The creature, she found it. And the summoner.
And it doesn't attack immediately. Just watches her. Like it wants her alive. Terrifying realization.
Why alive? That's deeply unsettling. Suggests a purpose beyond just killing.
The truth hits her. It's being summoned. Controlled. She realizes how much danger she's in, alone down there. Regrets suspecting Nehemia. Fear and understanding crash together.
Horrifying. Not just a monster, but a weapon wielded by someone. Her isolation hits hard. Misjudging Nehemia adds guilt.
She flees. Instinct. Ritterak smashes the door, pursues her. She runs towards the tomb, remembering Elena's words. She needed to see something there. Desperate flight.
Race for survival. Heading to the tomb based on Elena's hint. Maybe protection or answers lie there.
It corners her in the tomb. Attacks. Bites her hand. Pain. But then the amulet glows.
The amulet works. Protection.
Seizing the moment, she kills it with her makeshift knife. Close call. Hard-won fight against a monster.
Incredible resilience. The amulet is key. She survived, but barely.
Wakes up in her bed. Wounds tended. Nehemia's there. Concerned. Asks where she was bitten. Notes there's no blood outside her room.
Nehemia knows something. The lack of blood is suspicious. How did Celaena get back? How much does Nehemia know about the amulet, the healing?
Then, the big confession. Celaena tells Nehemia everything. Who she really is, how she knows Eloise.
Finally. Reveals her identity. How does Nehemia react?
Shocked, then hurt. Betrayed that Celaena didn't trust her sooner. Raw, emotional moment. Big shift in their relationship.
Understandable reaction. That secret was a huge barrier. Changes everything between them.
Meanwhile, Cale's thinking about the king's weird trips and his own focus. Solve the murders, make sure Celaena wins. His motives seem complex now.
Yeah, he's juggling loyalties, mysteries, maybe personal feelings, more going on than just his duty to Dorian.
Knowing who Celaena is, he watches her. Solving the murders feels more personal now. Protective, maybe.
Definitely seems invested beyond just the competition now. He understands the stakes for her personally.
Final test is coming up. Celaena trains with Nakas, but keeps watching Cain. Suspicious. His strength, that black ring he wears.
The ring feels important, connected to the magic, the creature. Cain is definitely a prime suspect now.
Celaena confides in Nox, hints her participation is involuntary. Confirms Cain knows who she is too. Risky move, trusting Nox.
Wow, sharing critical info. Shows desperation, maybe, or real trust building between them. Big risk if Cain finds out she warned Nox.
Nox seems to get it, admits he misjudged her. Respect, maybe an alliance solidifying there.
Good. She needs allies. He seems trustworthy, relatively speaking.
Then Celaena bumps into the king. Chilling encounter. Shadows seem to cling to him. Pure foreboding power. Disturbing.
That description is intense. Suggests he's more than just a ruthless ruler. Maybe connected to the Darkness himself.
Playing chess with Dorian, she only uses one hand. Fakes injury. Testing him. Hiding something. Strategic even now.
Always thinking. Maybe gauging his concern. Or conserving strength. Or hiding the bite wound. Layers upon layers.
They have a close moment. She admits seeing his father, but lies, says it was fine. Wants to stay near Dorian, maybe for protection from Cain. Worried about Cain's power.
Using Dorian for safety. Understandable, given her fear of Cain and his potential dark magic. She knows Cain is a major threat.
But she decides not to ask Dorian to stay the night. Too dangerous for him if Cain or the creature returns. Selfless choice. Protecting him.
Puts his safety first, even when she's scared. Shows how much she cares, despite pushing him away romantically.
Nightmares again. Stays vigilant, armed, no rest.
The psychological toll is immense. Constant fear, constant readiness.
Morning of the final duel. Against Cain. She knows he's strong, but thinks she can outsmart him. But the moral weight hits her. Becoming the king's champion. Who will she have to kill?
Yeah, the victory comes at a cost. The moral compromise of becoming his assassin weighs on her. It's not just about freedom anymore.
Kaltain's ready too. Clutching a vial. Planning to interfere. Needs Sardothien gone to get Dorian. Desperate.
She's gonna try and poison Celaena during the duel. Reckless. Driven by obsession.
Pre-duel nerves hit Celaena. Nausea. Sees those lords, Urizen and Garnel, in the crowd. Guys she conned before. Gives them a look, reminding them she knows things. Subtle power play.
Smart. Using past leverage. Keep potential enemies neutral.
Dorian gives her a grim, supportive smile. Nehemia arrives in warrior gear. Offers Celaena her staff. Powerful gesture. Warrior to warrior.
Wow. Nehemia showing up like that, offering her weapon. Huge sign of solidarity. Deeply meaningful.
Celaena accepts it. Draws strength from the symbolism. Her friends support. Ready.
That alliance visually confirmed gives her courage.
First part. She fights Grave. Uses Nehemia's staff skillfully. Defeats him quickly. Adaptable, deadly.
Shows her mastery. Even with an unfamiliar weapon, she dominates.
Before facing Cain, Kale whispers a warning. Concern etched on his face. The king watches. That intense white-hot glare. Pressure's immense.
Kale's support, the king's menace, the final showdown, everything on the line.
She steps into the ring. Feels disoriented poison, but steadies herself. Cain looks immensely strong.
The effects of Kaltain's poison starting already, or just nerves. Cain's physical advantage is clear.
It's brutal. Cain overpowers her easily. Vicious fight. Dorian's horrified, wants to stop it. Looks bad for Sanji. Really bad.
Uneven match. Cain's strength, maybe aided by magic, plus the poison. Dorian can see she's losing badly.
But she tries to stand. Injured, exhausted. Hears Kale's voice. Sees his hand near the edge. Finds strength somehow. Incredible resilience.
Kale's presence giving her that last push. Refuses to give up. That core defiance again.
Cain slams her against the clock tower. Impact triggers. A vision. Darkness. Unseen beings. The poison revealing something else. Another reality.
Whoa! Supernatural element right in the middle of the fight. The poison interacting with something. Or showing her the truth. Significant.
Weakened, she grabs a piece of the broken staff. Threatens Cain. Her words, her gaze, they actually make him pause. Pure force of will.
Mental strength winning over brute force even for a second. Her spirit is unbreakable.
And then she does it. Against all odds, she kills Cain.
She won. How?
Unclear exactly how the final blow lands, but she wins. Councilman applauds nervously. The king just watches. Silent. Intense. Victory, but Ominous silence from the king.
A shocking win. The king's reaction is chilling, though. What does he think?
Aftermath. Sheol got injured fighting Cain too. Celaena's distraught, despite winning. Tells Dorian she, Celaena, saved her from the poison. Dorian's confused but supportive. Lots of emotional fallout.
Chell fought Cain, too, protecting her. Elena's intervention confirmed. Wow. Lots happening. Dorian's loyalty shines through.
Keltane freaks out, blames Parrington, reveals his manipulation. But the king, the duke, they just ignore her. She realizes she's been betrayed, used. Her downfall.
Played and discarded. Tragic end for her ambition. Parrington remains untouched.
Next morning, Dorian confronts his father. Holds his gaze, defiant about how Celaena was treated, showing backbone.
Good for him. Standing up to the king. Character growth.
The king tests him. Talks honor, feigns indifference to Celaena, tests Dorian's loyalty, still playing games.
Manipulative to the end, trying to ensure Dorian falls back in line.
King agrees not to punish Chaol, but about Celaena. Disapproves of her disgraceful performance, threatens Endovir again. Makes it clear she's a tool, not for Dorian. Ruthless.
Still sees her as expendable, wants to control Dorian's relationships. Cold.
Dorian pretends to agree, but inside he's furious. Remembers Nehemia's support for Celaena. Admires that defiance. He's not giving up.
Quiet rebellion brewing. Nehemia's act inspired him. He sees the injustice.
He argues against Parrington's plans for Aelwë. Advocates working with Nehemia, not holding her hostage. And he actually convinces his father to reconsider. Big political win for Dorian.
Wow. Using his influence effectively. Showing political skill. Maybe a sign of hope for Aelwë.
Later, Celaena and Dorian talk about the duel. He admits how seeing her hurt distressed him, apologizes for not stopping it sooner, blames Keltane's drugging, clearing the air. Shared vulnerability.
Important conversation. Reconnecting after the trauma. Understanding his perspective.
Then Chaol visits Celaena, apologizes for not checking on her sooner. Silent, charged moment between them, acknowledging he saved her life.
Huge moment for them. Unspoken understanding.
She thanks him for killing Cain. He admits it was disturbingly easy.
Yeah.
Reveals his own turmoil. Suspects how Cain knew about her parents, deepening their complex bond.
His confession is significant. Shows his inner conflict. And raises more questions about Cain and her past. Their connection is definitely evolving.
They share this brief moment of comfort. Interrupted by Dorian. Instant tension returns. The triangle is sharp.
Always the three of them. That interruption resets the dynamic immediately.
Dorian asks about Chaol's visit. Celaena clarifies things with Heled. Dorian acknowledges their attraction but says a real relationship is impossible. Her freedom in 4 years comes first.
Mature, maybe. Prioritizing her long-term goal over romance now.
Dorian accepts it, though it's clearly bittersweet. A turning point.
Respects her choice, even if it hurts. Shows his maturity, too.
Celaena teases Chaol later about liking her. He deflects, annoyed but amused. Concern for her is still there. Banter and unspoken feelings continue.
Their dynamic persists. Complex, unresolved, but connected.
One last vision of Elena. Confirms Celaena fulfilled the first command, then she faces the king. He's cold, dismissive of her dual performance, but confirms the deal. 4 years service as champion, then freedom. Harsh, but it's done.
The bargain is sealed. Freedom is on the horizon, even if the path is dark and serving him is dangerous. Elena's confirmation adds to the larger mystery.
Despite his coldness, Celaena feels relief, hope, plans to leave Adarlan, leave her past behind eventually. A new, uncertain start.
Light at the end of the tunnel for her, a future she fought incredibly hard for.
Dorian asks about her first mission as champion. Celaena links arms with him, says, "Tell me tomorrow," leaves it hanging. Uncertainty, but still that connection. The story's not over.
Perfect ending note. What dangers lie ahead as his champion? Can their bond survive this new reality? Leaves you wanting more.
So yeah, what an incredible arc. From the minds of Endovir, this broken assassin, to King's champion. Through a deadly game filled with politics, magic, danger, and these intense relationships.
Absolutely. Celaena herself is just so complex, isn't she? Lethal, traumatized, loyal, compassionate, constantly surprising you. And Adarlan, the politics, the lost magic, the secrets. It's such a rich, dangerous world.
Totally. The big reveals for me were her real identity. The shock of the Ritterak confirming real magic and monsters, the sheer ruthlessness of the court politics, and yeah, that tangled web between Celaena, Dorian, and Chaol. There's no going on.
And I think this deep dive really satisfied that need to understand all those pieces, right? We followed the clues, saw the character motivations, explored the lore, It rewards that close attention.
Definitely. And just to leave everyone thinking, okay, she won her freedom, technically, service first. But what kind of champion will she be for this king? Can she really escape her past? And what is that evil lurking in the castle Elena warned about? So many questions left. The journey's definitely not finished.